Hello friends, welcome to Bhavesh Sir ki online class. Let us enjoy the video lecture.
Hello friends, welcome to the new session. In today's session we are going to see something very interesting. Before I go on to the new session and the new concept, let us revise few older concepts. I have drawn a triangle on the board. I am marking its interior angles as x, y and z. If you recall the property, sum of all angles of a triangle is 180, so x plus y plus z will be equal to 180 degree. Now, I will take a right angled triangle, say triangle PQR, where angle Q is 90 degree. Obviously, side opposite to angle Q will be labeled as hypotenuse. So, out of three angles, one angle is 90. So, angle P plus angle R. If I take sum of two angles, remaining two angles except the right angle, that is angle P and angle R, if I add up, it will be 90 degree. So, what I recall here is, in a right angle triangle, remaining two acute angles means angles which are not right angles. Remaining two acute angles are complementary angles. I hope you remember the concept of complementary angles. Complementary angles, if sum of two angles is 90 degree, then they are called as complementary angles. Out of any one of the acute angles, angle P and angle R are acute angles. Suppose if I take this angle as x, then can somebody judge what will be angle P? And if you are sharp enough, you will immediately answer it as 90 minus x. We are going to see something very interesting in this chapter, where we are going to talk about a triangle. We are going to talk about gone, and we are going to talk about metric. Now, these three words together will make trigonometry. Try three-sided figure, that is triangle. Gone means sides. Trigon, that means three-sided figure. Metry means to measure. We are going to see trigonometry. But prior to trigonometry, I have just revised two simple concepts. One is sum of all angles of a triangle is 180. And in a right angle triangle, two acute angles are complementary to each other. You can see I have drawn a right angle triangle ABC where angle B is 90 degree, and besides angle C I have written some new symbol for you. This symbol is a Greek symbol. It reads as theta. So angle C's measure is theta. Now you may ask me, sir, why are you using this theta? Like in algebra, the unknown value, we generally assign the letter x. Same way in geometry, whenever an angle is unknown, we use the symbol theta. So here angle C is, I have taken as theta. Now I will go back to the basics. Angle B's opposite side, that is AC, will be called as a hypotenuse. Now with respect to theta, that means with respect to angle C, if I look at angle C, its opposite side is AB, so I can write it down. AB is its opposite side. My dear friends, this concept you have to know it very well. What is opposite side, what is adjacent side, and with which angle we are talking about. Now with angle C, or with respect to angle theta, it has two adjacent sides. One is AC and other is BC. So AC is already labeled as hypotenuse. So what is the left out side with respect to angle C? With respect to angle C, as I told you, there are two adjacent sides. One is AC and other is BC. AC is already labeled as hypotenuse. So if I talk about BC, then BC is the adjacent side with respect to angle theta, right? So remember, my dear friends, whenever we are going to study in grade 9 or 10, we are just going to talk about angles between 0 degree to 90 degree. We will not go beyond 90 degree in trigonometry. Trigonometry will restrict ourselves from 0 degree to 90 degree. We will not go beyond that. So we will be talking about only right angle triangle, not obtuse angle triangle. Now, coming back to the concept of trigonometry, you are supposed to study total 6 ratios. First ratio is called as the sine ratio. 6 definitions you have to study. Out of that, first definition is sine. Second is cosine. Third is tangent. Fourth is cotangent. Fifth is secant. Sixth is cosecant. 6 definitions you need to learn. One is sine, second cosine, third tangent, fourth cotangent, fifth secant, sixth cosecant. In practical part, whenever we write down, instead of writing sine spelling as S-I-N-E, we just write down in short as sine, S-I-N. Cosine, instead of writing entire cosine, we just mention it as cos. Instead of writing entire tangent, we will call it as tan. Instead of writing entire cotangent, we'll be writing that as cot. Secant ratio will be written down as only sec, and cosecant ratio is written as cosec. I would just remind you that these are the 6 definitions you have to learn. Which are the definitions? I have not yet told you what are the definitions, but I am just making you understand that whenever practically when we are writing sine ratio, we'll write it down in short as sin, cosine ratio as cos, tangent ratio as tan, cotangent ratio as cot, secant ratio as sec, and cosecant ratio as cosec. Now we will understand actual definitions of all the 6 ratios. Dear friends, we will understand what is the definition of sine theta or ratio sine. Here I am talking about sine theta. Sine theta is nothing else but opposite side divided by hypotenuse. Now why this theta? What does this theta means? That means I am taking the sine ratio of angle theta. I am talking about the angle C. With respect to C, I am taking sine ratio. With respect to angle C or theta over here, opposite side, we already mentioned as AB. So its ratio will be AB, or hypotenuse we know it as AC. Second ratio, you know the name, cos theta. Its definition is very simple. It is adjacent side over hypotenuse. So if I look at adjacent side is BC and hypotenuse is AC. Third ratio is tan theta. It is nothing else but adjacent side upon, it's opposite side over adjacent side. That will be equal to AB over BC. You can see the list over here. Opposite side is AB and adjacent side is BC. If I talk about cot theta, then its definition is adjacent side over opposite side. Hence its ratio will be BC over AB. Fifth ratio, if you remember, it was secant ratio, which is written as sec. Sec theta will be nothing else but hypotenuse over adjacent side. Over here you can see hypotenuse is AC and adjacent side is BC. And sixth ratio is cosecant ratio, which is represented as cosec. So cosec theta is very simple. Last one, hypotenuse divided by opposite side, that will be AC over AB. So these are the 6 definitions you have to know. I repeat, sine theta is opposite upon hypotenuse, cos theta is adjacent upon hypotenuse, tan theta is opposite upon adjacent, cot theta is adjacent over opposite, sec theta is hypotenuse over adjacent, cosec theta is hypotenuse over opposite side. Before explaining the next concept in trigonometry, I would like to just ask you a few questions, and in fact I am trying to recall something. Suppose I am having small p whose value is 3 over 4 and I am having small q whose value is 4 over 3. What is the relation between p and q? Then relation between p and q is this: if I multiply p into q, then my final result will be equal to 1. So if product of two numbers is 1, if product of two numbers is equal to 1, then they are called as a multiplicative inverse of each other. So what can I say here is p and q are multiplicative inverse of each other. I have taken p as 3 upon 4, q as 4 upon 3. P into q is equal to 1. So p and q are multiplicative inverse of each other. I can say p and q are multiplicative inverse of each other. Now at the top part of the board, I have written down all the 6 definitions as per the last diagram what we did. I have purposely written in a little different order, and you see 1, 2, 3 I have written down over here, and 4, 5, 6. Right? Now why did I write down this way? You will realize one thing. If I multiply sine theta with cos theta, say if I multiply sine theta with cosec theta, if I multiply sine theta and cosec theta, what happens? You observe it carefully. AB over AC multiplied by AC over AB, hence their product is 1. So what I conclude from here, sine theta and cosec theta are multiplicative inverse of each other. I repeat, sine theta and cosec theta are multiplicative inverse of each other. Can you find out few more results? You will able to observe that cos theta into sec theta also will be equal to 1. You can just multiply their right hand sides and you will get the thing, cos theta into sec theta is equal to 1. One more result you can find it out over here is very interesting, is tan theta into cot theta also equals 1. So these are the 3 important results. One should know that sine and cosec are multiplicative inverse of each other. Cos and sec are multiplicative inverse of each other. Tan and cot are multiplicative inverse of each other. This can be written in other form as cos theta is equal to 1 upon sec theta, or it can be written as sec theta is equal to 1 upon cos theta. You should remember one thing: when they are multiplicative inverse of each other, if a into b is equal to 1, then a is equal to 1 upon b, or b is equal to 1 upon a. All the 3 results can be written in 3 different forms. We shall see something very interesting. Just now we multiplied few things and we got 3 results. 2 more interesting results we are going to see, and we will find out some interesting conclusion. We just now multiplied few things. Now I am dividing something. I am dividing sine theta by cos theta. Sine theta divided by cos theta. Just try to understand this very well. AB over AC divided by BC over AC. If I want to remove this division sign, I have to write down multiplication sign over there and multiplicative inverse of the next ratio. So AC and AC will get cancelled. I am getting AB upon BC. My dear friends, out of these 6 ratios, can you find out AB upon BC ratio anywhere in the entire board? And whoever can observe it very carefully, AB upon BC is present over here, AB upon BC. So sine theta upon cos theta is equal to tan theta. So our fourth result of the day, that if you divide sine ratio by cos ratio, you will get tan ratio. One more result we can derive. I am reversing the operation cos theta divided by sine theta, which will be equal to BC over AC multiplied by AC over AB. Here division, but I have division is nothing else but multiplication by inverse ratio. BC upon AB will be the ratio, and you can find it out anywhere from this. BC upon AB is over here as cot theta. So 5 results, very important 5 results. 2 are on the board. Before this, we understood 3 more results, which I am listing down again on the board for your easier understanding. That 3 pairs of ratios are multiplicative inverse of each other. Which were they? Sine theta into cosec theta is equal to 1. Second ratio, cos theta into sec theta is equal to 1. Third ratio we learned was tan theta into cot theta is equal to 1. My dear friends, if you know these 5 results very well, I don't think so you will have much difficulty in your first chapter of trigonometry. And we shall discuss about the questions from the exercise little later, but you should remember these 5 results. I am repeating: sine theta into cosec theta is 1, cos theta into sec theta is 1, tan theta into cot theta is 1. Any of these 3 results can be written down in 3 different forms. One is this form. Another thing, I can write it down: sine theta is equal to 1 upon cosec theta. Or it can be written down as cosec theta is equal to 1 upon sine theta. So any of the 3 results or any of the 3 form means one and the same. 5 results to be known very well. Dear friends, many a times students ask me like, sir, how to remember all the 6 definitions? I've written down sine, cos, tan in green color, cosec, sec and cot in red color. Remember, sine and cosec are multiplicative inverse of each other. Cos and sec are multiplicative inverse of each other. Tan and cot are multiplicative inverse of each other. I think so you must have seen war movie. All of you must have seen war movie. There were 2 superstars. One of them is elder one, that is Hrithik Roshan. And how many of you know his first film? I don't know. But his first film was Kaho Na Pyar Hai. I'm just reminding you this because you will enjoy this part of studies. His first film was Kaho Na Pyar Hai. I'm talking about Hrithik Roshan. And his co-star was Amisha Patel. So, how to remember these ratios? You just remember this. Sine is opposite upon hypotenuse. If you remember the previous part which we did. Cos is adjacent upon hypotenuse. Tan is opposite upon adjacent. Now sir, what is the relation of this with Hrithik Roshan? Now you just see. Old Hrithik and his old Amisha Patel was his co-star in that film. Old Hrithik and his old Amisha. Sine ratio O upon H. If you are talking about cosec, then it will be H upon O. Cos ratio A upon H. Sec will be H upon A. Tan ratio is O over A. And cot will be A over O, where O stands for opposite side, A stands for adjacent side, and H stands for hypotenuse.